So here's something you probably haven't actually heard about Marathon. So back in '04, LeBron said that Marathon was ahead of its time, said it was misunderstood, that only real hoopers would get it. Now, I'm not one to second guess the GOAT, so if he says he played it in '04, then I'll believe him. But when we get to play it is on February 26th to March 2nd, and I'm very excited. By the way, I don't like copyright strikes, so until I can actually play Marathon myself, we're just going to be using ARC footage for now. Okay, now what are we actually getting during the Server Slam? Well, we're going to get 2 zones. Now, the map is called Tau Ceti 4, which is kind of like the world, the planet the game takes place on. The first zone is called Perimeter, and from what I can tell, this is more like the open, beginner-friendly area. It's not literally a tutorial, but it's kind of supposed to serve as that, so you guys can get into, the rhythm of how the game actually works, the flow, where people rotate, that kind of jazz. And then there's Dire Marsh, which just sounds like Stellamontis because it's a research hub type thing. So a lot of PvP, close quarters, a lot of those situations that you find yourself on Stellamontis, but just imagine it's going to be in first person. Now at launch there's supposed to be 4 zones in total, but during this Server Slam it's just those 2, so I understand it's free access, so beggars can't be choosers. Now there's also a hero shooter element to this because there's a bunch of different characters. Now the first character is Destroyer. This one's more about like imposing pressure, so they're gonna have all kinds of like abilities to press and be aggressive. So if you're the type of person who likes to run and gun, kind of like a Call of Duty player who doesn't want to use their brain and you just want to cause chaos, then you can do it with Destroyer. You have the Assassin, which kind of reminds me of Spy in TF2. So if you've played TF2, you're going to really like that reference. So basically, you're not all about like taking direct engagements, more about sneaking behind, taking advantage of people, and trying to use your kit to do things that just takes a little more creativity. And then you have Recon, which in my opinion directly counters Assassin, because Recon has ways to expose Assassin with footsteps and all kinds of other tools. So I hope that Recon doesn't just simply hard counter Assassin, because it can totally defeat the purpose. But I imagine they thought that through as well. If I can think of that within 5 seconds, they hopefully came up with an idea of how that would actually work in a productive game. Then you have Vandal, which reminds me, it's kind of similar to Destroyer, but Vandal seems to be more like the Disruptor. So like AoE abilities, mainly trying to cause chaos in a different way. So I think it would be pretty interesting to see how people use this. Definitely seems to be a really annoying character, because anybody that can stifle you in any way is just not an enjoyable person to play against. So I think that, for example, like if you're trying to go to extract, or maybe there's a loot somewhere, this character just shows up and pushes you away. It'd be really annoying. So I imagine they're going to set up some traps around the map if they can do that with their abilities. Then there's the Thief, which is mainly focused on looting. So I imagine it's going to be kind of like the perks in Ark. I'm relating this to Ark a lot because they're pretty similar games in a way, right? And it's a recent example. We have that perk where you can get like better loots and you can carry more than other characters. So I'm pretty sure that's what the Thief class is going to be all about. Carry more, you can get access to better loot, and you have ways to escape. So better ways to escape than any other character. So I see from this photo that the Thief has a grapple, so that will come in handy. I love a grapple in a video game. Then there's Triage. So Triage is, from what I can tell, just going to be a support type character. So I'm not sure if Triage is going to have abilities that enable you to play, or gadgets that enable your abilities as another character. It's not clear right now, but I imagine that she's going to be a character that stirs a lot of conversation, because support characters are always, either loved or hated in any hero shooter game. So I imagine Triage is going to get the same treatment. And then we have Rook, which is basically the free loadout. So you can't take anything that you have in your stash, but you can always extract with what you get from the game. So yeah, I think these classes can make it interesting. I just hope that none of them hard counter one another, because then it would defeat the point of playing that role. And then squad composition is probably going to matter a lot because of this, especially if abilities can combo or counter each other. So you can expect that there's going to be a lot of complaints when the Server Slam comes out and saying, oh, this character's ult is overtuned. it always happens in these kind of games. Now, if you guys are interested in seeing what else I have to say about Marathon when it comes out and just kind of going over the entire game when we get a bit more information on it and can get our hands on it, then stick around, consider liking and subscribing to the channel, and let me know what you think about Marathon. Are you excited for it? Are you cautiously optimistic, or do you think it's just going to be a flop? Now, because of the hero shooter element, you might think that there's going to be some different modes, kind of like a team deathmatch or whatever, but it's really not. It's just going to be the typical PvP, PvE extraction bit, so that's what you can expect. There's not going to be ranked, no extra modes, so just don't go expecting too much from that. Now, there's also progression, but it's limited, so you can level up your runner during the event. And there are faction contracts too. 5 factions are active during the Server Slam. So Cyber Acme, New Calorie, Traxxas, Mida, and Arachne. And then there's going to be a 6th one, Sekiguchi Genetics, but it's not going to be available until launch. Now, these contracts are basically like objectives similar to what you get in Ark, you know, trials, expeditions, quests, things that can drive you to continue playing the game, essentially. And so I think this is interesting. I find that all kinds of extraction shooters need this so that it's not just wandering around, and it's a good way to get into the game because it teaches you the basics, things that you have to learn, and then you can kind of grow out of them as you get a little more experienced with the game. And then for the guns, it's your usual stuff: assault rifles, SMGs, snipers, whatever. They haven't dropped a full weapons list, but if it's Bungie, the guns are probably going to feel good. That's usually the least of their problems. The question is whether they feel good under pressure, hit registration, server load, consistency when there's a lot of people fighting in one zone. And also, cool thing, crossplay and cross-save are in, so you can play with friends on different platforms and carry your account between systems. And so, I mean, at this point in the Big 26, that should be standard, but, you know, it's important to mention, I figured. So really, the Server Slam isn't about showing us everything. It's more about giving you a slice of pie. Say, hey, you like this pie? Well, stick around and you can get another couple slices when the game comes out. So I like it. I think it's enough for us to get a good feel for the game. So essentially, we're just getting the feel for the flow, the gunplay, whether the maps are good, if these contracts that they're setting up are going to be worthwhile. And I'm really interested in how these roles are going to work out, because a whole game's personality can depend on whether or not the hero shooter element is actually rewarding, or if it just feels like they're generic characters. And yeah, that's all I have for the video today. When when Marathon comes out in a few days, I'll definitely be playing it, and I'll have a lot of content for you guys just looking into it. So stick around for that. Hit like and subscribe if you want more content like this and to stay up to date with all the videos that I've been making. If you have any questions for me about Marathon, then feel free to leave them in the comment section below. And if you want to work with me in the future, sponsor a video or something, you can hit my line and email me from the email I have in the description below. But as always, thank you guys so much for watching, and until next time, make sure to take care.